Yeah, we'll have to see how RNG end up playing against EDG.
Yeah, so coming off the back end of this, like RNG, they're a really young lineup. So that's, I think, the key message that they need to take away from this. They're confidence players. When they play from ahead, they play incredibly well. Xiaohu, especially in the mid lane. Whoosh is another one, though, that if he is able to get ahead on his AD carry position, he does love to bully. That's why we're seeing a lot of Lucian coming out of him at the moment. So that's what I expect them to try and run something quirky in the early game, something that bullies around a little bit, like a Zir, Lucian getting in there, Gragas as a jungle pickup coming through from MLXG. And straight away, we see EDG expect that as well, because it's banned.
Yeah, there's Gragas taken away from MLXG, Hecarim taken away from Koro, and the Alistar banned away from Lei. Pretty standard stuff so far.
Yeah, it certainly is. Also, they're targeting Koro a lot. Sky's a really good top laner in his own right, so throwing a lot of bans at Koro means that he might be looking to play something a little bit more standard. I hate to say it, but Sion might be the pickup in the top lane.
Yeah, it just might have to be. Sky, a very strong Sion. Sivir now being banned away from Whoosh. And we'll see what the last ban is for RNG. Remember, it's Baimi in the mid lane. Not quite a star as pawn, but definitely something to be respected still.
Oh, he's a solid player. So, yeah, not going to even beat around the bush. He is no pawn, but he's really, really good, serviceable mid lane. And they still throw the Azir ban at him just in case.
Yeah, so that is Azir banned away from Baimi. Now EDG up with the first pick. Koro in the top lane. Hovering Kalista, as that did make it through the pick ban phase. It was Sivir banned on the other side, and yeah, there's Deft blocking in Kalista.
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, this is something that they do a lot. They took it against, I think it was Snake, and then they banned it for game 2. So they definitely still think that Kalista, very strong pick up there in the AD carry position. In response, it's actually the Maokai. So they ban away 2 of Koro's champions and take the 3rd one. That's a lot of respect given to the top laner.
Yeah, really solid choice out of RNG to do that much to shut down at least one member of EDG. And MLXG looks like he's going to be on that Rek'Sai in the jungle.
Yeah, so Rek'Sai just really strong at the moment. It's a sustain, it's a jungle clear, the ability to build warrior if you're snowballing, not warrior into Cinderhulk if you're just going for a late game build. Cinderhulk farms the jungle incredibly quickly, and it'll be Koro picking up Rumble.
Oh yeah.
So we'll get something a little bit new. It is he's one of his most played champions currently coming into this. I think he's like equal up there with his Maokai. So they force the lane matchup. This typically goes in Rumble's favor early because of the sap magic getting a little bit of a nerf in the early game. So the Flame Spitter spam actually does more damage than what the auto attack does at the moment. And they also pick up Mako's Thresh, which means that he will be unlocked to roam around the map nice and early.
Yeah, Mako, an absolute monster. RNG, very fast to respond. It's Bard and Vayne.
Yeah, and Whoosh was one of the first AD carries last split to try and make Vayne work over and over again, and is one of the reasons that I have a very strong opinion about this champion, because taking it into a Bard lane, the thing about Bard is he's a one-man lane bully right now. He's got a very short cooldown on his Q. He's able to tether people off creeps. So this is the thing. You can't fight Bard around creeps because he's kind of like Lux, but better with his Q. If you're anywhere near a creep, especially if you step in front of them, you really only have to hit the person. They'll get tethered to a creep, nice and stunned up. So Bard in there has a game-changing ultimate. And right now, it actually looks like RNG are going for the Varus comp, and EDG have picked the Cassiopeia. So RNG's composition, awfully similar to what LGD are trying to play at the moment, with the Varus mid lane coming through for Xiaohu.
Yeah, some definite similarities coming out of there. Looks like the last pick is going to be Baimi taking Cassiopeia, and Clear Love on that very scary Sejuani. Orianna being looked at from late right now.
Yeah, and I want to know whether this is a response to the Cassiopeia being picked up, because it's very strong against Varus. As soon as you get one poison, Varus kind of dies and falls over in the lane. Have to take cleanse to get rid of the poison, because otherwise you just get eaten to death. So going with something like an Orianna, a little bit more of a standard lane, still incredibly hard to execute against Cassiopeia because of the persistent damage, but will do better than what Varus does in the mid lane.
Yeah, so Orianna is the last pick for Xiaohu. You can see he is taking that cleanse into Baimi, who's, interestingly enough, looking at a barrier, and it's Mako rocking the Ignite on the bottom. Now, I actually want to talk about these supports. We mentioned that Thresh would unlock Mako to roam around the map. Well, Bard was designed with roaming in mind.
Yeah, he certainly was. And, you know, Bard does it a little bit differently because he kind of needs to take someone with him. He unlocks these magical journeys, a weird pass that you can take through what should be structural forests and weird ridges and just makes you go right through. And yeah, that's definitely something that they're going to have to keep in mind on, because all of a sudden people can get behind you, not just Rek'Sai tunnels, and gank the living heck out of you, and something squishy like a Rumble might be made to pay. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on those squishy laners for EDG. You can see the lineups going through right now. It's not Pawn, but Baimi in the mid lane. Xiaohu opting into that Cassiopeia with an Orianna of his own. And on the AD carries, it was Deft on Kalista and Whoosh on Vayne. If you've got both of your supports roaming, wouldn't that incline you to go into a lane swap? Yeah, it certainly will, and this is something that EDG do all the time. They lane swap into 1v0s and get really good jungle follows going on. They make sure that they gank mid early generally to try and burn some summoner spells, so Pawn typically, but Baimi in this matchup can start bullying in the mid lane, and then they'll look to try and keep the top laners down, because Amazing J, he kind of needs a little bit more farm, but Koro is the best resourceless top laner going around. This guy, especially on something like a Rumble, something like a Maokai, can really get in there and affect games with next to no CS, so look for them to probably go into the lane swap. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on EDG if they opt into the lane swap. Ladies and gentlemen, we're loading into the Rift. It's EDG versus RNG. And we have now loaded on RNG with the 5-man group, EDG with the answer. Wait, they're in the Dragon Pit. Are they spotting Mako now on the other side? EDG are coming for a flank. Are they going to pass each other by? There's no way. They're so close. Ships in the night. They have the Tremor Sense out there, though, so on the side of RNG, they know exactly
they magical journey over. They're going to find Koro. Koro doesn't see it coming. Knockup is going to find him. He's taking some damage here. 300 health. This could be first blood. It is. RNG first blood find Koro. Are they going to find the rest of EDG? Oh, they're looking for Clear Love. They might. Oh, what's it? Nah. Too long cooldown on Magical Journey level 1. Oh, but they make it over Clear Love. The flash knockup. Clear Love is forced to flash on his own, and he makes it out alive. Yeah, and you mentioned Bard and how cool he is, and then he does that level 1. Fantastic Magical Journey. Gets them over a structural forest, which, you know, normally you can walk through in real life. League of Legends a little bit differently, so you need an ability, but they pick up first blood. They burn a flash out of Sejuani early game, which means she's going to be a little bit more susceptible to bullying. And great early game from RNG. This is something that King were famous for, with Sky up there in the top lane. Used to come up with some quirky level 1 dragon strategies. Now they get the first blood through. Well, I mean, that was a level 1 dragon strategy just before dragon spawn. Yeah, exactly right. They were looking for it. Instead, they found a Rumble. Yeah, they got that first blood, and they're even opting into the lane swap as well. So that means EDG can respond to the lane swap. You can see the Magical Journey is sending RNG into the blue buff of EDG, and some really interesting map movements going on. Yeah, so they're just going to pick up the blue buff, start on the strong side of the map for them, make sure that the jungle isn't coming through. In response, Mako goes preps the blue on the other side, but Koro, he kept his flash. That's going to be very important because there's 4 members on his side of the map, and he is most likely going to get dove. Yeah, that takes a lot of confidence not to burn that flash, especially when you see all 5 members of the enemy team trying to kill you. He's recalling right now. He knows that this is happening. Yeah. Can they make it under? No, they can't. He gets out alive. Yeah, so really good play coming out of the top laner for EDG. This is what we said that Flandre maybe should have done game 1. He picked up a little tiny bit of experience, found that the dive was going to come through because no one went onto the blue side of the jungle for RNG, so they had to be on his side of the jungle. So he just gets out of dodge. Yeah, and now he's going to be creeping through his own jungle. He's got a trinket ward. And actually, no, he decides to bail on it. Doesn't even want to take any chances as he heads down to join up with the rest of his team, leaving RNG to put some pressure up top. Yeah, so they will be able to fast push on RNG's side. It has meant that Koro has next to no farm right now, but he'll pick himself up the Raptors camp, and fast push being match means that EDG, they gave up first blood, but we'll be able to dodge the rest of the pressure that was building on the top side of the map. Yeah, but Whoosh has bounced the wave off the turret. That's going to be an incredible freeze coming through there for RNG. Yeah, Whoosh probably going to be feeling pretty happy with that bounce. He is playing on that late game vein we just saw in our previous game. Oh, that is hard shoving. Like, if they catch that wave, which they're going to with the Bard, and just not let it push any further, that will freeze forever. Yeah. Really confident stuff out of RNG. Going for that first blood and now getting this really solid freeze. How will EDG respond on the bottom side of the map? Looks like they might. They're still shoving. For the shove, yeah. Yeah, so on the bottom side of the map with the Kalista, with
Mako's Thresh, they're still shoving through and maybe looking for an early gold advantage because they gave it up in the form of first blood. And recognizing that with the deep freeze coming through in the top lane, if they get the first turret, which is within their reach, they will be able to catch up in gold really well.
Yeah, so that is EDG shoving on the bottom side. They do have the numbers advantage as well, so there was a small window for them to try rushing for that dragon. Instead, they opt for the tier 1 turret. They still will have the numbers advantage, keeping Deft down there. However, with RNG on that side of the map, it might be a little trickier to
So
take that
you
dragon.
see right now, EDG, 500 gold advantage. They picked up the early structure, and that means that they're at an advantage. They leave the lane pushing back in their favor, so that means that Koro is going to be able to grab some CS, and then they'll just send their duo up top with a shop where they're stronger than the Vayne. Really good response coming out of EDG this early in the game.
Yeah, avoiding some of that very scary numbers advantage that RNG are wielding so oppressively across the map. Clearlove actually going for the invade. We'll find the Krugs might be able to make it to that tier 1. That lane freeze might just backfire.
Yeah, and you know, if Whoosh dies right now with that much of a lane stacking up in his favor, that means that Vayne's going to be set very far behind. You can see, once again, dragging it off the turret. So all of a sudden, he's in real danger of being dove.
Yeah, there is a very scary wave building up there. 3 members show themselves. No cannon minion means that this wave will continue to shove. However, you do have Lei on his way to help
flying up there with a magical journey. They're not going to care. They're going for it.
Yeah, they dive. Whoosh is the target. Teleport coming in. Are they going to be able to kill Whoosh? The Ignite takes it down. Deft gets the kill before flashing away. Mako is now going to turn on to Lei. He takes some damage too, but EDG with the clean execution.
And time again, EDG are able to make these turret dives work. Perfect juggling of turret aggro by Mako, flashing out of range after the Ignite were going down. Made sure that he was the one tanking it after Sky flew in there to try and lock someone under turret range. They get the kill onto Deft of all people and cut the lane freeze just before it was going to get dangerous.
Yeah, even the Flay landing on the Sky. He's forced to flash. Lei gets a good CC, but it's a little bit late now as Deft and Mako keep shoving onto this turret.
And they're sending Whoosh back top. They're not sending him bottom because it's an overextension. That means that Koro all of a sudden is getting all of the farm he wants in the bottom lane. And they're now 1,000 gold up after giving up first blood. This EDG lineup just knows exactly how to respond in the early game.
Ooh, could be a bit of a gank coming out from MLXG. Lei follows over the wall, manages to land some damage. Flash, knock up, it's followed up. They're going to turn on to Mako. He goes down. Koro's teleporting in. EDG are on the wrong side, but they're going to go down here. Our MLXG is the one who picks it up. Koro and Clearlove looks like they want to get a piece of the action too, but it might be a little bit too late as this is EDG overcommitting for this. They lose 3 members.
And just as we're giving them some credit, they throw it all away with a really weird overextension. They had the ward on top of Lei. They also had another one in the river, but they just don't pay any respect to the RNG lineup, who once again grabbed themselves the gold lead. And this game has just been turned back on its head because all of a sudden, top wave, that's crashing into the turret. Bottom wave, that's huge, and they just missed out on all the farm. RNG going to respond.
Yeah, this turret looks like it might be able to go down. Not quite. They do have a cannon minion. Finally gets it, yeah. So they do get that. Blue buff has just respawned. If they can steal that blue buff away from Bamey, that would be huge.
Yeah, so they're looking to stay aggressive. Oh, Shockwave misses.
Narrowly misses. Xiaohu thinking he's got the outplays, but only has the miss.
Yeah, but in the end, they will steal away the blue buff, so that's what really matters on this side. MLXG picking that one up. And wow, what a hectic early game coming through.
It's 8 minutes. It seems like we've already had team fights.
I need to sit down.
Map movements. This is exciting.
Yeah, so in the end, it will add up to Whoosh going towards the Blade of the Ruined King. It looks like maybe Blade of the Ruined King or Bloodthirster more likely coming out of Deft. He's got his boots 2 already upgraded down there for some efficient gold. Top laners, they're back to all square because 3 assists have been picked up for Sky, whereas looks like Koro's hell-bent on dying as much as possible in the early game with a 0-2-0 scoreline coming through for the Rumble. That was a suicidal teleport.
He's just making a statement, you know. I am Koro. Though he might be dead, I'm still effective. And interestingly enough, RNG, despite opting for the early split push, with that early advantage, they end up swinging down to the Dragon. They're going to be able to take this just fine.
Yeah, and the minion wave was pushing in their favor in bottom lane, so they don't really lose out on much coming through for Whoosh. Bamey, he's getting a little bit low, needs to make sure he's not overextending in this middle lane with Cassiopeia. very tempting to try and go aggressive, but they are converging on his side of the map.
Yeah, with a Bard, you've even got Rek'Sai, Maokai. There's just not a happy overextension for Cassiopeia, so she can't get too aggressive. You can see EDG trying to respond with taking another turret. They do have the forward movement on turrets, though they are still down in gold. So RNG, they've got this early lead. How do they continue to capitalize on this early lead?
So they're just trying to get some more gold onto Whoosh right now. They're continuing the freeze. That means that EDG are able to take some turrets, but you would think that it will be pushed off right here as they send some more members up.
Love is in position looking for the flank. Koro, level 6, has his equalizer on top of the Glacial Prison. A very scary wombo combo. With all 4 members of EDG on the top side of the map, they actually set up a pretty solid shove. And RNG get to keep Whoosh farming for free.
Yeah, so Whoosh, he's starting to build a little bit of an advantage down there. He's got the 3 assists as well. Trying to shove in now into that bottom lane. Someone going to head back from EDG to catch it. Bamey, he's not being able to go aggressive at all because of all the pressure coming out of Xiaohu right now. Not to mention the cleanse going to mean that it's very hard for either mid laner to really kill each other. And just a little bit of like stagnation right now after what was an incredibly aggressive early game from both teams.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Whoosh is actually down in overall gold behind Deft because of those early turrets. They're even in CS. Equalizer comes in to clear the minion wave, but it's just going to end up catching that experience in gold while Whoosh continues farming. He's not going to be able to get any damage off this turret because of that equalizer. The dive for EDG in the top. They find Sky and he dies.
Yeah, so advantage after advantage just stacking back up for EDG. And, you know, they overreached once. Expecting them to do it twice isn't probably going to happen. In the end, they're able to take down another kill, waste another minion wave in the top lane. Whilst in the bottom lane, Koro was able to equalize her. It will probably fall down this wave. Oh, it's still very healthy.
It's got a lot of health.
Yeah, Whoosh going to have to do some work if he wants that to fall. Instead, he's going to recall, pick up his Blade of the Ruined King. And it's all back to square. Yeah, 300 gold. Everything's
juggling right back out. Xiaohu with a pretty solid gold advantage. You can see he's 500 gold up. MLXG using that overall gold from that 202 scoreline to end up 300 over his opponent. And it is a very even game. Despite what the numbers are going to tell you on the top of the board and the early chaos that we had, it is still very close.
Yeah, so coming in here, probably going to go towards the next dragon fight, which I wouldn't honestly be surprised if EDG just gave up. They generally give up the first 2 dragons anyway and go for number 3, but you see that they're trying to get early aggressive ward coverage over the area. As Xiaohu, he's doing really good at bullying out Bamey right now, although he takes some poison back in response.
Yeah, he's taken just a touch of harass there and is forced to continue sitting back and play defensively. Normally we say that Cassiopeia is one of the lane bulliest of lane bullies, but Xiaohu is juggling that really well and feeling pretty confident in that lane as he does have a CS advantage and even opting for the MR with the Athene's Unholy Grail.
Yeah, it's just a really good pickup coming through there. If you grab something like the Merc Treads as well, look at how much magic damage is down the whole of the EDG lineup. Not saying he's going to, but on things like Cassiopeia, even, Azir coming through there, we see a lot of triple MR items, the Athenes into the Merc Treads, into something like an Abyssal Scepter, and it just means that you can't be locked down by all the CC that those champions have to offer. Not to mention the fact that every jungle right now running around, even Rek'Sai, because of the AoE that comes through from Cinderhawk, just does so much magic damage.
And it is working out rather well. We've got a bit of a shove coming out from Deft and Mako as they put this wave under. It is going to be caught by
Deft. Oh, he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Should have stepped on it.
He likes to walk through the meadows and not disturb the flower cup. Some more pressure in the mid lane as Bamey is catching wave after wave as it is continuing to be shoved.
They take away the blue buff again. This is a third that they're going to be able to steal. And Bamey, he's been, you know, we've been crediting Xiaohu, but credit to the rest of the RNG lineup of consistently keeping the Cassiopeia behind without blue.
It's a really solid tactical decision. You know, bring in the new guy and then just punish him.
Yeah.
That's a solo queue tactic as well. When you're loading in the game, look up your opponents, see who's on tilt, and then just camp their lane.
You're not a nice solo queue player.
I play Zed and Ahri. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I am a top lane player. You shake hands at the start of the game and then agree to not hit each other for the first 25 minutes. May the best farmer win.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hitting going on this game as Koro and Sky are pretty even overall. They're hitting those standard breakpoints. Interestingly enough, Sky does have that catalyst, so opting for the Righteous Glory first, whereas Koro doing the standard Haunting guys.
Yeah, so we'll see whether he really commits to it or whether he grabs his Banshee Veil nice and early coming in there. Another thing that I kind of think is cute going on Maokai, depending on whether the rest of your team is going to grab one, when there's all this magic damage flying around, you're probably going to get the most gold, so why don't you just pick up the Locket of the Island Solari?
Yeah.
Because you're going to be grouped a lot of the time. Gives you a lot of, I guess, team MR coming through. Also means that your jungler, who generally is starved of income, can go for something a little bit more selfish like the Banshee's Veil, but we'll see whether they do go for some MR early. Because right now, Deft, he hasn't gone the attack speed build, still waiting on the Runarn's Hurricane. Means that it really is about Clearlove, Koro, and Baimi doing all the damage at this part of the game.
Yeah, now Dragon has respawned. RNG are set up in front of the pit. They've got Scuttle Crab.
Things
They've
are
got
actually
wards all
coming
around.
out for EDG. They want to fight it this time.
Yeah, Koro has got his teleport. He just picked up Sword Boot, so he's got a lot of Magic Pen. I don't think he's going to make it to the pit in time unless Clearlove can manage to get the steal. He gets a huge Glacial Prison. The hook is going to find Sky. There's the equalizer. Whoosh is forced to back out of there. Sky gets burned down by Koro. Mako's the one who picks up the kill, and suddenly RNG have to back away.
Yeah, and EDG surprise everyone because they fight for the second dragon, pick up a kill, pick up the dragon. Now streaming towards mid lane, probably going to grab a turret for their trouble as well. And that was just a really nice call.
Yeah, great play out of EDG. A huge Glacial Prison from Clearlove to secure that. With that dragon secured, they do now even it up. They don't have to worry so much about that faster fifth from RNG, that very scary late game spike. And that is a scary, very scary spike. It's Xiaohu on Orianna, Whoosh on Vayne. They want to try to hold that off as long as possible.
Yeah, they certainly do. The lineup that comes through from Royal Never Give Up is really good at scaling into the late game. A very good protect the Vayne composition as well, because you have the damage reduction, the peeling coming through from both Wow.
Ooh, Koro could be caught out of position here. There's flash knockups. Now stun doesn't lock him against the wall. He's got his flash. Is he going to use it? Ignite was burned. He goes down. MLXG gets a kill.
Yeah, so once again, overextension coming through from the top lane. A 0-3-1 now for Koro. He's not having the best of games, but he is copying a lot of focus. And Baimi, you're next.
Yeah, he still has got his core items. Baimi is going to be dived. Magical Journey over the wall. He flashes out of the way. Stun goes out. It turns into just a slow. Lei goes down. MLXG still taking the turret. What are you doing, man? You got to get out of there. He does indeed make it out. Mako trying to go 1v1. Thresh versus Vayne. If anyone would try to do that, it would be Mako. And he's able to scare Whoosh away.
Yeah, so in the end, they're able to push them off. They will pick up the turret, though, so RNG net game coming across for those guys. Kalista needs to be stopped in the bottom lane, but Baimi, very low on mana, needs to be careful.
This is the blue buff stacking up right now. Not having that mana means that he's having some serious difficulty clearing the minion waves. The dive was perfectly timed, and EDG take that turret, RNG take that turret, and keep the gold dead even. It's even in turrets, even in dragons, even in kills. Even in kills.
Is it? I say 4 to 5.
Yeah. What's one kill?
Between friends, you know?
You can round up. So we see MLXG now securing his Wolf Camp. Righteous Glory finished for Sky. Pretty standard things coming out. RNG.
So Sky does go for the Righteous Glory, and that's caught me a lot off guard, because generally, as a Maokai, you're going to be the front line, and you look at all the upfront magic damage he's going to walk into. It's a great team fighting item, don't get me wrong, but Baimi has this big stop button in his R that it's going to be hard for Sky now to deal with, because he hasn't got any extra magic resistance.
Yeah, Sky is going to be in a bit of trouble when those team fights break out. We already saw how quickly he gets burned down when he's in the brunt of Deft, Baimi, and Koro. There's a lot of damage on EDG's lineup, and in the last fight, they were able to juggle it out perfectly. Now we're 18.5 minutes in. It is RNG versus EDG, and RNG are keeping pace with the best team in the world.
Oh, they're a little bit ahead, so definitely credit to RNG right now, especially Xiao, who in that mid lane, he's built himself up a great advantage as Clearlove takes a blue buff. Baimi can't, he's getting counter jungled by his own team right now.
Report jungler.
Not his day.
He's just saying, come on guys, I just want to cover for pawn. Let me show you what I can do. Whoosh getting some free damage onto this bottom turret. No one's there to cover for it. The deep ward does spot him out. and he is going to back away with his life while Xiaohu continues shoving in the mid.
Yeah, and Bamey, he's doing a respectable job for a blue buffless mid laner, you know? I'm going to give him some credit. He hasn't gotten anything.
It's so sad.
He hasn't got a gank, he hasn't got a blue buff. You know, this is why he doesn't play very often. He doesn't want to.
He's getting the very unfortunate decisions coming out, but all of the focus from EDG has been, as you mentioned, getting the game past that 30-minute mark. They've been staggering, they've been balancing, keeping pace with RNG without getting too over-aggressive, without getting greedy, and more importantly, not letting RNG run away with the game.
Yeah, and you know, this is a really scary point in the game now for RNG, because if any team has a great level 2 ultimate, so that's level 11 in the game, Rumble, Sejuani, Cassiopeia going to be coming in there with a lot of damage on all of those ultimates, all of them AoE, which means that Xiaohu, a lot of pressure on him, not for the shockwave, but more for his positioning and being able to keep Whoosh alive and sped up with the dissonances, as well as the shields to come through and really help this Vayne, because you can see Whoosh has got himself into that position where he's halfway to more than halfway, actually, the static Shiv as well as the Blade of the Ruined King. So he's going to be a force in these team fights as long as they can protect him.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Whoosh in the team fight if he's able to stay alive long enough. He's got Sky, MLXG, and Lei to peel for him. We'll see if the Tempered Fate is going to be as spectacular as it can be. Now, Dragon's up in 40 seconds. You've got deep wards coming out from RNG. They want to contest this.
Yeah, they certainly do, and you see the transform just came through for Bamey. He's got that Archangels coming through. Wow, the earliest QSS. Generally, I see 2-item QSSs, and I'm like, good decision, AD carry. But 1.5 item QSS coming through there for Deft. Doesn't want to be caught up by any CC in these fights. And, you know, he's going for the single target build, probably going towards that PD. A little bit more crit, wants to be able to deal with Sky, who hasn't built any armor yet, so will be chunked out fairly easily by this attack speed single target Kalista.
Yeah, Deft. If anyone is the man to do it, it's that guy. The minion wave is cleared on bottom. Whoosh actually has to back away here. He sees Clear Love and doesn't want to take any chances. Scuttle Crab is going to go over to EDG unless there's going to be any sort of silly steal shenanigans. Here's Xiaohu. They find Deft. He's overextended, forced a flash out of there. There's a great knock-up. Equalizer turning it. This is EDG turning it into the fight. Clear Love is forced to back out. Sai comes from the backside. He kills Clear Love. Sky now running away. There is the MR, but it just isn't enough. There's no command shockwave as Xiaohu did already use it. And EDG pick up one. They trade 1 for 1, and now they're on the dragon.
Yeah, and MLXG doesn't have his ultimate available, so he's not going to be able to come back. Wow!
Oh, there's the shockwave. Why did he save it?
To kill that guy. why are you asking me? I'm not him.
He had it on top of Deft. I felt like that would have been a great time. I even was like, oh my gosh, he's going to shockwave, and then...
Yeah, no, just wanted to kill Mako.
Yeah, one kill.
I don't blame him. Mako Zed killed me a lot of times, so, you know, getting in there, but... EDG, they able to pick up the second dragon for themselves, lose the trade in the kills though, and more importantly, the gold lead is actually growing for RNG just because of the fact that they're the ones picking up the kills. They've already got some turrets on their side as well. So EDG need to be careful because this team comp will scale very nicely.
Tempered Fate comes out as RNG. Oh. Look for the roam. Koro takes some huge damage. The stun narrowly misses, and Koro gets out alive. RNG with the quick swing top aren't able to pick up a kill, but they make EDG respond, and that's actually been much to RNG's credit. They've been the ones who have been generally dictating the pace.
Yeah, they certainly have, and you know, all of a sudden the builds are making a lot of sense. They're looking for the mid-game spikes. They've got a Luden's Echo. They've got the Righteous Glory on Sky because they want to be able to move around the map the way they are and catch them out. And you know, they did catch Koro out there. He had to burn the flash. And that stun was millimeters away from ending his life as well. So really credit to the whole of the RNG lineup right now for making EDG play their game.
And now we do have everyone going back to the standard laning phase. Xiaohu 2-0-1 for his team. MLXG playing so strong for RNG. He's 3-0-3 right now with a full tank build. He has been pretty much the main catalyst for RNG, helping them roam around the map to secure the kills for Xiaohu and try to keep Whoosh safe.
Yeah, so he's 6 out of the 7 kill participation so far. Definitely having a good early game. Lei, on the other hand, he's all 7 at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mako, he's keeping up with him, though. He's 5 of 5.
He's keeping pace. It's the battle of the supports. Though, Lei has a better KDA.
He
so
does.
Confirmed, Lei greater than Mako?
Mako has more kills, dude.
Oh, yeah, of course. Kills greater than everything.
I need to see damage done. That's how I rate players.
Even supports?
Yep. 100%.
Because you know in the ward count, it's going to be Mako.
I don't want Vision?
Yeah, the Vision battle.
That's a battle?
Roaming all over. Of course,
I
Vision's
lose
a
that
battle.
one all the time.
Dude,
then.
everything is a battlefield. Especially love.
I was leaving that one soloed. It's like
all right, so we've got the
Atlas.
gold on the screen right now. You can see Deft still has about a 700 gold lead. In the mid lane, it is
1,200 to Xiaohu.
Yeah, very in favor of Xiaohu. He's been putting the pressure on the Bane.
Yeah, he certainly has. You know, this Orianna, we said it's a tough matchup to come in. He did pick into it, so, you know, credit for him making his counter pick work. And all of a sudden, a lot of pressure once again around this mid lane. Bard was hanging out in the wings, wants to try and catch Bamey out. And EDG, they're playing a very slow measured game. It's only 25 minutes in, so it's still relatively young territory for EDG. But they just want to make sure that when they get towards that 30-minute mark, they're sitting pretty in a good team fighting position. And right now, Def getting ahead certainly looks to be that way.
EDG are in their comfort zone right now. While they are down about 2,000 gold, there really hasn't been a lot of threat to them as a team. They're up in Dragons. There have been no fights for the inner Tier 2 turrets. It seems as though RNG are content to let that stall out towards the mid game. EDG will find this turret undefended and force RNG back in place to cover it. Holy cow, Xiaohu's level 15. So is Bamey. That was fast.
26 minutes approximately it took to get here.
These guys have been
Thanks
all
for joining
alone in the mid lane.
They certainly have. They've been farming up an absolute storm, you know. Over that 10 CS a minute, both of them are. Xiaohu way ahead of it. He's on nearly 300 at 26 in, so they definitely have been farming quite efficiently.
Yeah, and there's level 16 now from Xiaohu. He just hit that spike super strong. He's got a lot of gold in the bank with the Blasting Wand. I'm excited to see what he decides to go for next. Yeah, there's 1,600.
I would really like to see him go for a Void Staff just to keep the game snowballing in their favor. You see, there will be, so there's going to be Aegis of the Legion upgraded quite soon into that Locket of the Iron Solari. Sorry, I can't think of that name until I put on a D-man voice. It's just such a bad thing. But yeah, so Locket of the Iron Solari going to be coming through really soon for the EDG lineup. And it's really important right now for Xiaohu to just stay ahead of the MR curve with his Orianna so he can consistently put out damage.
So far, he's been doing an excellent job. You can see his damage done at the end of the game is going to be enormous, not only because of his creeps, but also because of his effectiveness in team fights. 2-0-1. He's really been instrumental in keeping RNG in this, despite the fact that he hasn't really left mid lane that much. Now, that last tier 1 did go down.
The creeps in the bottom lane,
yeah.
So that means that RNG, they've opened up the entirety of the map. They have a 3,000 gold advantage right now, and they look to be setting up for the next dragon, but it's 27-minute mark. That means EDG are definitely going to posture for Baron, especially with the Sejuani and the secure ability of Def being able to just chuck so many spears in that objective. Not to mention face-checking Sejuani Rumble is going to be a dangerous thing, and EDG, that's how they stall out games. They just control the vision over this side of the map so well.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, what's next for RNG? Do they play for Dragon 5? Do they play for Baron?
RNG just pick up the next dragon. I don't think EDG still want to fight them. That's why they're trying to keep them in the mid lane. They're just trying to delay the game, make sure it's frozen out. You can see that they are a little bit more teamfight ready. They've picked up a Rylai's Crystal Scepter on Koro, so he's very much a teamfight build, selflessly coming through there. Def's got his Static Shiv, building towards the Last Whisper, but you feel that they still don't really want to commit just yet.
Yeah, and there is RNG going for
they pulled the trigger.
dragon.
Really nice play through to RNG there. There was no way that EDG were going to start up that Baron. They demonstrated that RNG still had vision control of that. RNG square up the dragons at 2 apiece right now. Whoosh is still in a really good power spike for his build, and even though Koro's starting to pick up a little bit more farm, Sky's just as effective right now with the component build coming through from Maokai. So EDG, they need to play this one carefully because if they run head-to-head, Royal Never Give Up has a good chance of coming through.
Yeah, a bit of a death wish being set up for RNG as they are looking to get some forward wards. Seems as though they might be swinging down towards the bottom. Recall out of lay as Sky continues to shove. Looks like he wants to answer that swing towards the top from EDG. They've got that side of the map lit up like a Christmas tree, and they could be prepared. Yeah, they're going to try going for this Baron. There is immediately the Rek'Sai ultimate. He makes it in time, and EDG back away.
Yeah, that was not the sneakiest Baron. That was probably one of the most obvious things. When 5 members disappear off a map,
all
and
on
you
that
have
side.
Most of the wave shoved up. I know where I'm putting my money on where they're going to be, especially if they're EDG, so they don't really get much out of this one. And in the end, it's going to be RNG pressuring even more lanes.
Oh my gosh, is it really happening? Bamey got blue buff. He got his first blue buff 30 minutes into the game. Yeah!
There he is.
Finally, he's like, yes, guys, awesome.
I'm surprised he stuck at it. I just would have built an Athene's.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. You just might have to. Bamey does find Lei clearing out a ward. He's going to clear out the Scuttle to answer for it. RNG know that Dragon is off the map. They've got Sky answering on the bottom. They're going to send Vayne and Lei up top.
And Bamey, he's getting Clear Love back. He took the Scuttle bug. You know, that's an extra 30 gold that could have gone across. I do my math fairly often, and 56 compared to 86.
But 42 gold for blue buff. What's the overall worth of the blue buff missed versus Scuttle's missed?
I have no idea. I hate when people take my risk Scuttler and I'm a jungler. It makes me mad.
Yeah, me too. And now we've got Deft opting in to finish off that static Shiv. Whoosh. He's picked up a Phage.
Yeah, so he might be going towards... I really want to say Black Cleaver, but he's not. He's going towards Trinity Force. That would have been so cool if it was. Just a little bit more mobility, and, you know, it makes your tumble really hurt. So you're able to get 1 and 2 auto attacks in and just chunk people out with the Vayne at this part of the game. And it's a luxury build, but then again, you're playing Vayne, you're going for the late game anyway, so why not go for it?
Very solid stuff. It's actually reminiscent for me of when Vayne first came out, and it was all about Madrid's Bloodrazor Trinity Force. And you just kill everything. Only downside, those are the 2 most expensive items in the game, so you never did get to finish your build.
Yeah, see, that was when Vayne first came out.
Oh, yeah.
I was more of a fan of, like, the Bloodthirst and Max Tumble, or Max Condemn even better when you were laning with Alistar. That was so funny. No one had any idea how to play Vayne. Like, it was like, which button does the most stuff?
And you could take her in the jungle with Flash Ignite just because she did so much damage with her W. Ah, the good old days.
Oh, wow, that was Season 1.
Yeah, that was way back in the day.
Yeah. That was AP Alistar territory.
Oh, yeah. Where you could heal an entire minion wave?
Yeah.
That was silly. But we're not in Season 1. We're in Season 5. Speaking of Season 5.
A very slow game as well.
Yeah. Everyone's taking their time. EDG don't want to lose anything.
You know, you can't blame RNG for playing the game this way because they have a really good scaling comp. They've got the Vayne, they've got the Orianna. Even Maokai at some point is going to absorb so many spears from Deft that he's going to look like someone did archery practice on him, but he's not going to die really quickly. So, Koro.
Yeah.
You cheeky bugger. But yeah, overall, RNG are playing the game on their terms, and they're coming out ahead.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble for RNG, however. They're playing up against arguably 5 out of the 5 best players per role in the game, and they want to come up mechanically better. Well, 4 out of 5.
Yeah, sorry, I just pointed at Bamey for those at home. But yeah, Bamey's playing quite well this game for someone that has to deal with no blue buff. Is starting to fall very behind in CS, however. Is it a very sweet spot right now for Cassiopeia, though? He also has his Void stuff, so MR not really going to be an issue with the triple penetration items coming through there. And this is one thing that EDG does well. So we'll talk about what RNG does well. They've farmed the lanes. They've got gold onto the important members of their team. They're very good. They're probably far further ahead in mid lane than Deft is in bottom lane. So Xiaohu making sure that he's becoming one of the carries for his team. But EDG is very good at making sure teams make one mistake. And off the back of that one mistake, they take a lot of the game. So right now, once again, they're posturing around the Baron area, making sure that RNG has to funnel into a Sejuani. Oh, Temper Fate.
Oh, narrowly misses. They do find Mako, but he gets pulled right on out. That was actually Righteous Glory being popped as well.
Yeah, so in the end, they tried to go for the fight. That Tempered Fate was millimeters away from ruining Def's day, but they aren't able to hit it, and all of a sudden, that pressure that was building up, we thought we were going to have a fight. All of it just resets.
Very, very passive play, and RNG are really playing a razor's edge with this one. As you mentioned, if they make one mistake, EDG are going to run away with it.
Yeah, so are EDG, though. They're playing on with arguably a worse scaling comp. They're playing really, really passively throughout the mid game.
This is an interesting position. Sky.
Bard's coming as well.
Yeah, looking like
They're
they might find Koro. He's got his flash and teleport. He could be caught out here. Let's see if he is going to end up going down.
Be started.
Yeah, the rest of EDG are on the other side of the map. There is teleport available for Sky. They're going to kill Koro, but he's stalling it out so much. He does even drop the equalizer. Flash is out of here, too. Is he going to get out alive? Oh, wow. Finally he does. Sky is able to catch up with the rest of them. Shockwave goes wide. Here's the teleport coming in. RNG could be trying to blow this thing wide open. They're going to collapse. Mako is dealing with MLXG so well. Bamey is zoning away Whoosh. Xiaohu gets in there. The Glacial Prison finds the two carries. Xiaohu gets out of there. This is Whoosh flashing out as well. He's getting some great damage across. It's Whoosh versus Deft. 3 versus 1. Deft even picking up the kill on the Sky. Tempered Fate misses, but Deft with the insta-cleanse for the Condemn ends up going down. Finally, Whoosh picks it up. 4 members of EDG are dead.
And 2 only on the side of RNG. Bamey baited himself right there because he landed a beautiful ultimate. But both members had cleanse.
Yeah.
Straight away, they were out of it. And they just turned around and completely destroyed the mid laner from EDG. But once again, we said RNG playing with fire. I really think that EDG are going to get outscaled in this game. And you just saw how much damage Whoosh did. He's only got 2 offensive items. That guy's got another 2 to go. He's going to be an absolute monster.
Looks like they might be attempting the Baron here. Clearlove is on his way. Koro's going there
this
too.
Is dangerous.
Yeah, really scary. He's healing up so much from the Baron, but the reduced healing is keeping it so slow. You can see he's getting 20 health per auto attack. The equalizer is huge. Whoosh is taken solo. The command protect is instantly burned. Lei gets dropped. MLXG in the front line going toe-to-toe with Koro and Clearlove. He's trying to burn it down. Mako is joined the battle. Condemn. Whoosh is forced to run away. He is going to turn now on to Mako, who's got enough CC to stall it out. Xiaohu could die. No, he's still alive. Whoosh is still alive as well.
And they're going back to Baron. No, they ping back. Thank goodness. So 1 for 2 again, but slowly but surely, RNG building a lead in this game. They're now up nearly 6,000 gold. Whoosh is getting even bigger. He'll go back, spend all that nice money, picks up the Trinity Force, and wow, this game, this is on breaking point right now for EDG.
Yeah, this is phenomenal play from RNG. They really are playing on the knife's edge and balancing it out so perfectly. There's so much potential for EDG to burn down Baron. They've got Cassiopeia, they've got Callista, they've got Rumble, but they've not once let that thing get into a poor position. Now RNG are going to collapse onto the pit. Teleport comes in from Koro.
So this is a 3v5, even if they get Koro in there.
Yeah, very scary position for EDG. You can see some damage coming across. It is going to go down here. Will it be secured? 2,000 health. They try to turn it around. Lei looking for the stun. He misses it. Sky going to continue burning it down. It is secured by RNG. Equalizer tries to stall this out. They might catch Sky. The death sentence misses.
So the Baron goes over to RNG. Dragon being pinged right now by EDG. They want to see if they can get an objective back in their favor. But wow, this game, it's been flipped on its head. Normally EDG, the team that plays so well around the Baron buff, they just lost out on it. Everyone in position to fight once again on Dragon. This is going to be dangerous. They don't have the equalizer.
Very scary position. They're burning through this Dragon's health bar so quickly. It's going to be destroyed. Deft riding the Dark Passage. He gets out of there. EDG trade Baron for Dragon.
Yeah, so in the end, better trade comes through from RNG. Huge creep wave bottom. They're going to pick themselves up a red buff, and doesn't look like they're done with their aggression for now.
Yeah, this is so interesting. RNG have got EDG on the run here. With EDG pushed down to the bottom, RNG swing mid. They could be looking for the tier 2.
Yeah, so no, they're definitely going to get the tier 2. So now whether they can siege the map. Huge minion wave in the top lane as well. Look at Lei. Flies through half the map.
The charge.
Glorious journey right there. And I don't know how they cut through all these creeps. They're going to be able to pick himself up another outer.
Yeah, these minion waves were allowed to build up really well for RNG. They take 2 tier 2 turrets within a minute of dropping that Baron.
Yeah, so in the end, they're able to pick up like an 8,000 gold lead now off the back of that. EDG, they've got 3 dragons, but 5th dragon, that's only at 50 minutes, and you think the game will be decided by then. Wow, this is...
Oh my goodness.
They probably have another 6 minutes right now, EDG, to pull the trigger. Otherwise, it gets into that area of the map where one team fight decides it all. And with Xiaohu's Orianna, 404, 415 CS, 3,000-ish gold, 2.5 probably closer ahead of Bamey. He's going to one-shot down.
Yeah, it's pretty even all across other than that. Sky with a minor lead outside of that. And you can see all the members of RNG with minor gold leads simply because of that global gold from all of those turrets in the Baron as well. So all in all, it is still pretty even.
You got the last Whisper.
Oh boy.
Whoosh does damage, like a lot of it as well.
Yeah, confirmed.
Like, I'm not talking about tickling people.
Oh yeah, he's late game. The only thing he has to build now is upgrade for boots and Mercurial Scimitar.
Boots? What's that? You mean Zephyr and Mercurial Scimitar, right?
Oh my gosh, 6-item whoosh Vayne confirmed. The rotation as RNG swing down to the bottom side of the map. EDG are going to clear this out as RNG aren't quite prepared. However, they've got Sky split pushing in the mid lane, trying to get a wave shoving. He's going to go clear out top while the rest of RNG are bottom, and with Teleport, if a fight should break out, he'll be there.
Yeah, exactly right. And, you know, we talked about Whoosh, so only fair to cut across the map to death. He's also in a similar situation. He's got double lifesteal items, though, which means that if he can dodge the shockwave, which is a very hard ask, he's going to be able to lifesteal through a lot of the damage that will come through from the likes of Sky, from the likes of MLXG, as Koro wants to fight MLXG.
Oh yeah, he's getting some big damage. Equalizer tossed out. Now MLXG might... Oh, he doesn't in fact have Flash. He just used his Burrow. Knock-up coming out now. Koro trying to burn him down, and he does.
Yeah, so Koro gets a solo kill on the jungler. That's probably going to expire the rest of the Dragon buff, so the top laner for EDG coming up absolutely massive.
Sky trying to get there in time, just wasn't able to make it. And how do EDG respond? This is the first mistake RNG have made in the past 20-some-odd minutes. What do EDG do with this?
They can't do anything. At the end of the day, like, they're going to have 30 seconds where they can shove out waves, maybe look to get some pressure around Baron with clearing out some tunnels, because that's up in about another 3 minutes. But overall, they got them a kill and it expired the Baron buff, but not much else came through for that solo kill.
RNG are doing an excellent job of keeping the map clear of objectives that EDG can take. Timing the Dragon with the Baron, making sure that there are not really that many things that they can have taken at the time. Xiaohu looking awful strong right now.
Yeah, he's picked himself up another needlessly large rod.
Oh boy.
So you can see from the buff, the Baron has expired, guys, coming through there. So that is no longer active. Also could see the fact that creep waves weren't getting ridiculously large around them.
Purple. Do the creep waves also taste purple?
I have no idea. Ask Lulu.
We'll have to find out. Xiaohu continues to shove up. Koro, Bamey, and Clearlove are there to catch it out, as he's still about 30, 45 CS ahead of Bamey.
And Bamey's going for a Luden's Echo last item as well, not going for something like a Zhonya's Hourglass. So that's outright aggression from the mid laner of EDG. If he slips up, it's going to be a lot of damage that he takes directly to the noggin. You see on the side of Xiaohu, he's going for the Zhonya's Hourglass, so he's looking to dodge out of some of the damage.
Yeah, 404, death not found. Xiaohu doesn't believe in dying.
Yeah.
On the other side, as you mentioned, Bamey going for that Luden's Echo for all damage. He's already died once, and he hasn't been involved in too many of his team's kills. However, his team hasn't exactly had a lot of kills. This has been a very tactical, movement-based game.
Well, RNG have just been shoving EDG around the map, and EDG have been responding.
Ooh, Tempered Fate coming out. It doesn't find anyone. There's going to be the Righteous Glory, but they don't find anything.
Yeah, so they saw Clearlove in the top lane, split pushing as jungle Sejuani, as you like to do late game. No teleport available there, so they tried to make something happen. In the end, they weren't able to catch any members, so it pretty short cooldown in the Tempered Fate, now on cooldown, but they'll just reset for this Baron in about 50 seconds. Dragon also up, and that's number 4 for EDG. So he said this game probably won't go to 50 minutes. Team's doing everything they can to prove me wrong. But all the objectives going to be respawning within 20 seconds of each other.
This is going to be absolutely explosive. Take a look at some of the wards. EDG looking like they might be setting up for the Dragon. They've got control over the back of the pit, and with everyone positioned on the front, they might have to cede this Baron over. There's a recall out of Xiaohu. He's the most important member of their team.
Yeah, so he's trying to get back for maximum damage for the Baron. They don't really care about the Dragon right now because they think they can win it at the next Baron fight. So he goes back, gets his Zhonya's, but they do cede 4th Dragon over to EDG. So if RNG don't win this fight and the game goes for a little bit longer, that's a lot of pressure they just gave up.
EDG shoved down mid now. They've got that 4th Dragon for a better turret siege. Xiaohu now with his Zhonya's. RNG are a bit split right now. EDG end up getting the better position on this Baron.
Yeah, so Woosh is in the top lane. That's not where he wants to be. He wants to be with his team, so they choose to shove back down mid. Not only does a creep wave give you pressure if you win a team fight, but creeps are also really good vision. They just keep walking down the lane, so you get more vision of where the flank's going to come from. So RNG, they set up very nicely around this Baron area. And now EDG probably want to wait on their 6 items, because you can see all the carries done on the side of RNG. See whether they can finish up on the side of EDG.
Yeah, some recalls coming out from RNG. They know that a fight's not about to break out, seeing how quickly EDG went to the defense. There are directional pings going. This is 4 members of EDG on the pit. MLXG is actually at his blue buff. He's immediately making a beeline over there. They don't want to gamble with this.
Deft was back in base. There was no way they were going to be able to pick that up. They do have Cassiopeia who will tear through it, but just still not worth the risk coming in there. So instead, they send Koro back to the top lane, get that one shoving out. Bottom wave is shoving huge, so Sky, with teleport available, has to go there. But this is going to deny a blue buff away from Xiaohu. Unless he grabbed it on the back end and I can't see the tunnel.
Visual bug. He doesn't have it.
He doesn't have blue buff.
So,
visual effect.
Yeah, there is the Baron being started. EDG getting damage across. The Tempered Fate is huge. They find Koro and Clear Love. Who's going to take the Lantern? It's Koro. But with the Baron stalled out, they have to force this into a fight. Death Sentence comes out. Everyone's in. Xiao, who's on the back, he did. That Equalizer cuts across the middle, but RNG are juggling this so well. Neither of the teams lose a single member.
Yeah, but Clear Love didn't pull the trigger on the ultimate there, so a lot of potential to still catch people out on the side of EDG. That's why they're still hovering around the Baron. They think that they have the important ultis out of the RNG lineup.
Yeah, there could be some huge ultimate stacking. Deft has his ultimate as well. Even Bamey to get additional stun on top of that. The harass comes across. MLXG going down. Xiaohu very far forward. Has got to be so careful. All it takes is one.
Ulti already nearly back up for Xiaohu right here. He's got maybe another 25 seconds to delay this one. In the end, every member backs away. Don't want to start anything up, and RNG. Whoa.
Command Protect comes out. The Death Sentence finds Xiaohu. He cleanses it instantly. Clear Love goes into the front line. He gets the Glacial Prison, but Woosh and Xiaohu are untouched. They look for Koro on the back, but he gets out of the other side. Woosh now coming in to rejoin the battle. Mako gets dropped. So far, it's a 1-for-2 trade in favor of RNG. Can Deft and Bamey keep themselves alive? Seems like they just might be able to. Xiaohu looking for the flank. He's got the Shockwave. He's zoning it off right now. If Bamey walks into that, he's going to take some hurt. The Shockwave comes out. He finds Bamey. He's low, but he's still alive. The Equalizer is huge. Koro was holding on to it this entire time. He's burning through RNG's health bar. Woosh gets stunned and destroyed, and EDG clean that up.
Yeah, EDG come through with a huge team fight. It was actually the second Equalizer to come through. That fight went for so long that everyone got 2 rounds of their ultimate. EDG, they get the mistake that we're looking for, will pick up the Baron. What can they do from here?
Yeah, this is the Baron for EDG. 3 members against the single defense of Lei, and with the Wave Billion, Bard is going to burn down. That's going to be the official ace from Bamey. They should definitely be able to take this tier 2. Can they get the in hit?
Yeah, so Bamey came up huge in that fight as well. Flash ultied with a second ulti, I believe, as well, onto Lucian there. Able to burn him down at the end of the fight. And yeah, they're definitely going to be able to break the base here. Deft able to chunk out these structures. They will take the first inhibitor.
Yeah, take a look at the gold. It's still very
They're still
even.
Going
Are they going to
for
keep going? Can they try to end this game? Sky is up. He needs to get Deft off of this turret. That's the main source of damage onto it. The turret falls, and there he goes, finally backing away.
Yeah, so everyone else nearly back available. So EDG need to get the heck out of dodge, but 2 minutes until 5th Dragon is available. EDG will go back, and everyone will be completed item build now. 50 minutes into this epic game. RNG still have the gold advantage, but they lost control of that fight.
Yeah, so this is amazing play from RNG. They're keeping pace with Edward Gaming, the best team in the world, and it is only 46 minutes into the game after an incredible team fight that they're finally on the back foot. Though, this could be EDG at the strongest they've ever been in this game. They've got Baron. Dragon number 5 is about to spawn. They're all late game.
Yeah, and you see another needlessly large rod picked up in the top lane. Luden's Echo finished up there for Bamey, so he's finally caught up to Zhao, who all of a sudden that gold lead means nothing. 503 CS coming through for the mid laner of RNG.
Gosh.
Top wave pushing in dangerously. MLXG has to go sort that one out, but 5th Dragon, that's what's at stake right now.
Wushin, you can see him in the mid lane to try to catch that. He did opt for the Mercurial Scimitar, and he got Boots upgrade. He's not going for the Zephyr.
Doesn't have the gold yet.
He doesn't have the guts for it yet. I don't think.
Oh, wow. Calling him out.
We'll have to see. Mako taking some harass for now. The Dragon's up in 20 seconds, and RNG have to contest this, but the wave is continuing to shove.
Yeah, it's on the base turrets right now. You see that they want to take it, but EDG, they're streaming up mid lane. They've completely caught RNG off guard. They take down the turret, and all of a sudden,
oh, man.
they have to give up the Dragon, I think.
What a clever bounce from EDG. They're using what RNG have done multiple times this game against them.
Yeah, so you see that they've got the Rift Scuttle of it. There's just too much pressure in the mid lane. Once again, Koro can just walk up there if he wants. He has his teleport available, and they're mind gaming the absolute heck out of RNG right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see if RNG can make this fight. Most of the
Tempered
summer
Fate.
spells come out. They do find Deft. Is Deft going to be able to make it out of there? He's going low. One of the Nexus turrets has actually fallen, but the fight has happened. Whoosh getting some damage across. It's Sky on the front line. He ends up going down. This is the very tanky front line for RNG, completely dead. Xiaohu still alive with Whoosh, but they've lost so much.
All they have to do is keep them from recalling. They'll be able to get in there and nearly end up the game. They send Mako for bait. Whoosh wants him.
Yeah, he does get a kill for free onto Mako, but the rest of EDG are shoving forward. What's a kill for a Nexus? Ask EDG as they get onto it. Here comes Zhao Hu. He's going to try a heroic defense, but it's too little too late. EDG take game number 1 in a 51-minute slaughter against RNG.
That's the threat of 5th Dragon right there. They didn't even get it in the end. They just kept threatening it, got the inside lane, sent Mako to the Wolves, and in the end they pick up an incredibly close win.